In the quiet, gray outskirts of Riverside, Michigan. The winters don't just bring snow. They bring a silence that settles deep in the bones. In a small, weathered house on the edge of town lived Robert, a man whose hands were once strong from years in the factory, but were now shaky with age and the heavy weight of solitude. Every Saturday, the silence was broken by the sound of a car in the driveway. It was his sister, Jenny. She worked long hours in a humid laundromat, her back aching from the steam, yet she never missed a week. She always carried a pot wrapped in a faded towel, warm beef soup, made just the way Robert liked it. It wasn't just food, it was a weekly promise that he wasn't alone in this world. Robert once had a life full of color. In his 20s, he was a man with a future and a beautiful bride named Linda. Like many of us, he believed love was a permanent contract. He bought a life insurance policy and, with a steady hand, wrote Linda in the beneficiary box. But life is unpredictable. Poverty wore their love thin, and 20 years ago, Linda packed her bags and vanished. No calls, no letters, she became a ghost. Robert eventually forgot the policy even existed. To him, the monthly payments were just a background noise of his life. He told Jenny 1,000 times over that soup, "Jenny, when I'm gone, this house and my insurance, it's all yours for taking care of me." He believed his words were stronger than any piece of paper. He thought the law would see his heart. He was wrong. After Robert passed, Jenny went to the insurance company, expecting the final gift her brother had promised. But the clerk's words were a cold blade. The beneficiary was never changed. According to this paper, the money belongs to Linda. The ghost had returned. A woman who hadn't checked on Robert in 2 decades was now standing in a courtroom, reaching for his legacy. Robert's neighbors stood on the witness stand, weeping. They told the judge he wanted it to go to Jenny. He said it every day. But Linda's lawyer simply held up the old document with a chilling smile. "Emotions change," he said, "but the ink remains." Mr. Robert had 20 years to spend 5 minutes changing a name. By doing nothing, the law assumes he intended for the paper to stand. The courtroom wasn't a place for tears. It was a temple of cold procedures. The judge's gavel hung in the air. Jenny prayed for a miracle, for the law to find its ears and hear her brother's voice. But the ruling was a hammer blow. The court sympathizes with the sister, but the law follows the written record. The proceeds belong to the named beneficiary. Bang, bang, bang. The money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, went to a woman who didn't even attend Robert's funeral. Jenny was left with nothing but an empty house and the smell of cold soup. My friends, as a lawyer, I tell you this because your love deserves a shield. Sincerity has no voice in court if it isn't written down. "I'll do it later" is the most dangerous sentence in the English language. It leaves your loved ones defenseless. Open your drawers today. Look at your policies. Is there a ghost's name on your paperwork? Don't let your final act of love be a tragedy for those you leave behind. Make the law your friend today, so it doesn't become your family's enemy tomorrow. Hello, everyone. I am Kim Jung-ju, A.U.S. attorney. Today, I want to share the heartbreaking stories of 2 individuals, Robert from Michigan, USA, and the late singer Gu Hara from South Korea. They share one painful commonality: an unprepared farewell that left their loved ones in a living hell. Let's start with Robert. For 20 years, his sister Jenny was the one who stayed by his side and cared for him. Robert often told her, "Jenny, everything I have is yours." It was a sincere promise known to everyone in their town. However, after Robert passed away alone, a shocking twist occurred. When Jenny went to claim his life insurance worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, the company told her, "We're sorry. But the beneficiary is still listed as his ex-wife from 20 years ago." Can you believe it? An ex-wife who hadn't been in contact for 2 decades took all the money. The law trusted the ex-wife's name, written on a 20-year-old document, more than Jenny's tears. What happened in Korea? When Gu Hara passed away, her biological mother, who had abandoned and failed to care for her children for over 20 years, appeared and demanded half of the estate. Robert's ex-wife and Gu Hara's mother are the same. They failed their moral duties during life, yet claimed their legal rights after death. We must realize a cold truth here: the law is not a judge of who loved more. It is a cold machine that only follows records and procedures. So, what should you do? To avoid the same injustice Jenny faced, please take my hand and make these 3 promises today. First, call your insurance company and confirm your beneficiary. Do not assume it is your spouse or child. A person you parted with long ago, or even someone who has already passed away, might still be on that paper. You must change it right now to the person you love, like Jenny. Second, a will without notarization is just a piece of paper. Robert had a will, but it was ruled invalid because a single address was missing. A will must meet legal requirements with the help of a professional. If you are in the U.S., a living trust is your strongest shield. Third, explicitly state that those who did not support you will receive not a single penny. If you do not want family members who neglected you to take your assets, clearly state the reasons in your will. Keep records of the person who actually cared for you, such as caregiver payment history or photos, as evidence. This is how you uphold the spirit of the Gu Hara Act. My dear seniors, why do I speak with such urgency? It is because I want your loved ones to feel, she truly loved me, after you are gone. Without proper documents, your loved ones may spend the rest of their lives in courtrooms, filled with tears. Love is felt in the heart, but love is protected by documents. Please check your papers today so your sincerity is never ignored. I, Attorney Jung Kim, will help you until the end to ensure your precious love is safely delivered. Thank you.